Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I have just recently did my 1 year anniversary, which is today, of doing markets because my very first market was on October 7th. So that's why I'm saying this is my anniversary of doing 1 year of markets. And I want to tell y'all, I basically run through all my events, and this will be you'll see me in another outfit in the next portion of this video, basically going down how my booth has changed and what difference does it make. Okay, so I want to go down to the very first one. Like I said, it's Fall Fest. I paid $35 for the very first event to be there. I made $175, so I made $140.15 profit off of that one. And then I did the Christmas market at the mill in November of last year, and I brought $78, and I think that one was $25, but I put it all in the total for Pickens and Greenville separately, so I included that into my total, what I made with those two. So I brought $78 in sales. And then I did the Christmas market was in Pickens, Fall Fest is in Pickens, and then I did another one in January in Pickens where I made a -10. I didn't make any sales. I don't even think I did a video because it was that bad. So yeah, with that one, I want to just go ahead and say it was because of the weather. It was raining really bad that day. I remember clearly it was raining that day. But I remember since that happened, I wanted to apply to Greenville State Farmers Market, and I got accepted during that month. So in the very first craft market was a whole vendor event was in March, and that's the one that I did in March 9th. And normally Greenville State Farmers Market, if you don't know what it is, it's got a building. They're doing some renovations, and I want to kind of do it soon. But I don't know, since I'm applying for another market that I've never done before, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But I don't even know if I'm accepted into the one I just applied for. So that was my very first market with them. And then with Greenville State Farmers Market, it cost me $10 to be there, and that was not included in my how much I made in sales, but it is included in the total what I made in Greenville State Farmers Market. I brought home $102.48. $102.48. I wish I brought a big number, but I did. Actually 102 was okay for the very first day, because normally I'm used to $50, $70, something like that. And I remember specifically that my axolotls were selling out and my pickles were selling out at that show. So if I ever did that show again, then I would bring more color variations and of axolotls, and then keep stock of pickles because that was a hit. And then I did, because it was my birthday month, I did 2 markets that month. I did Junking and Jamming for the very first time. It's free. But then I did an April 20th market with Greenville State Farmers Market. But just to make things easier, Junking and Jamming was the very first one on April 6th, and I brought home $167 worth of sales. And no, that was not, I didn't have a booth fee with that one. And no, it was not my highest sale market, but it was the one that I did the most profit off of. Because like I said before, Fall Fest last year, I brought home $175 in sales, but I only made $140.15 in profit. So all of that was profit, but then that was before I took into account time, and then I took account of materials. So there was a lot of things that I had to take and consider after that to make sure I was also getting paid. And then the April 20th at Greenville State Farmers Market, I only made $21.80 that one market. I think it was only like 2 sales. So, I mean, that wasn't a really good one, but I think that was the worst market for Greenville State Farmers Market that I'd done. So take that with a grain of salt, but also it was my second one, and that was when they started every Saturday. So yeah. All right. Then I took a break from markets in May, I believe. I think I only did one, but I did not film it, and I cannot find it. But I remember I was trying to make flowers, or I think I did it. No, I don't think I did a market in May, because I was looking back for my videos and my square so it matches, and whatever I was missing from YouTube, I was making up a square because sometimes I didn't make a video. So I don't think I did a May market because it does not show up in square. So I went from May to almost the end of June with no markets up until June 29th. It was at Greenville State Farmers Market, and I made $47 from that without the table fee. And then on July 20th, I did a market at Pickens. I believe it was one of the $10 booths that I did, and I realized that I would never really like do those smaller events ever again. So like for Market the Mill, because I would I'll explain a little bit, but basically, to sum it up, what I learned from that event was I don't need to be doing the $10 markets. I need to be doing the 35 or Jeep Explosion stuff, like those markets, Junkin' and Jamming, Fall Fest, and stuff like that. So I only brought home $45 from that market. I believe it was only a few sales. And then I did one on 7 days after that, basically a week after that, on July 27th, and it was at Greenville State Farmers Market. I brought home $110, but without the booth fee. And then because I was on vacation, then I lost my father-in-law. I did my very first market since coming back from vacation and losing my father-in-law. And I at the Greenville State Farmers Market, and I brought home in sales $74.50. And like you just seen a few videos ago, I did Junking and Jamming on September 14th and September 21st. And if you want to know the numbers, separate days, I will go ahead and tell you. I did $98.80 on the very first day, and Junking and Jamming is free, so I had no table fee. And then the second day I brought $55, so I totaled $153.80. That does not include what I had divided up between setup and materials, because I always try to upgrade my booth. And then, as you've seen in the very last video before this, is Fall Fest, and I only brought home $86 in sales, minus $38 to be there, so $48 profit. And that's just very short of what I need to pay for the market in November. So yeah. All right, in total, I brought home from Pickens within a year's time span of $221.80. That's including the booth fees. I included all of that. I went through each one, and I remember how much it was. Greenville State Farmers Market is, surprisingly, even though it didn't seem that way, in gross sales was $355.78 in sales, minus $50 in booth fees, which, because it's like $10 per event, and I did it 5 times this year within a year time span from my very first market till today. And so I brought home, not including materials and time to create these items, I brought home $305.78. So as of right now, I believe next year I would have to focus more on Greenville State Farmers Market. I'm gonna do some quick math right here and just tell you how much I spent in market fees and at Pickens, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back just to real quick show you the difference in the booth fee cost that I did. Okay, so I totaled it all up for Pickens. I've already told you I spent in Greenville State Farmers Market, and yes, you are seeing also some notes from back here, but it has nothing to do with, it just has to do with like cost of materials. Okay, so I spent, in comparison to Greenville State Farmers Market, I spent a total just for Pickens at the Market the Mill $118. $118. So I did probably make more in sales, but I didn't bring home as much profit as I did in Greenville State Farmers Market. And however, some of these were an absolute fail. Like the 25, at least $45 of those fees were bad days. So, well, no, 45 plus 38, about 70, close to $80 we will say is bad days. And the only reason I'm counting the $38 from the recent Fall Fest is because yes, I did make my table fee back, and yes, I also ran it over in the last video about all of what happened. But if you have not watched that video, to basically sum it up, is that they brought in more of the same vendors than what they said in the application that they were going to do. They were going to crack it down, but they did not. So they went against their word. All right, basically, to sum it up. And I'm so glad I did this video, because I really need to look and see about next year, what I need to focus on, what I need to do. I believe since I'm not doing any Pickens markets in November and December, I'm going to focus on Greenville State Farmers Market. So the table fee will grow for the rest of the year, but this is just my 1 year from October 7th to now. But that is basically it, except for in the next clip, I will tell you how my booth has changed and what products I will not be selling anymore and be discontinuing or discounting to get them gone, or what I should have not done with buying like display items and stuff like that, and what I've done to crack down on space with hauling the stuff to the markets, and what I've learned is best to do for me in my situation. But basically, to sum it all up, it looks like more profit wise was in Greenville State Farmers Market, and that is a shame. But if you did not watch last week's video, I will be doing Fall Fest one more time because we did have a hurricane and stuff like that. But that's kind of like disappointing. I spent close to $200 in booth fees, and I feel like I could have done a lot better. Now I have done a lot of in-person sales, so the number that I made in Square with in-person, like in markets, is a lot more. I made about, as of right now, $1,100 and something-ish if I can take a screenshot, I will put it right here of how much I, at this day, have brought totals with in-person sales and markets, which is not a bad number compared to last year. So I have basically improved in some ways, but I feel like I need to crack down on spending, materials, what I bring to markets, and my booth fees and my market display items. So that is going to be a big play in my next market and my November market, and maybe my future Greenville State Farmers Markets, because I believe they do every Saturday till December. And I know that I will be doing December markets there because they buy a lot of gifts there. So yeah. So I will see y'all guys tomorrow when I continue this video, because I need to get ready to go to work. I need to put my food together, and I need to basically make sure I get everything to go to work. But in the next clip, you'll see me talk about how my booth, I've already have a video on how my booth has glowed up, but I really want to reiterate, since past that video, I've done more and more, and I want to talk about my booth that I did for the very last market and what I would, if I would want to do that type of booth again. So I'll see y'all guys in the next clip. Guys, this is my second take of doing my upgraded table setup, and I finally got it more organized. Because when I did my first one around, it was kind of like, you know, not the best. But we're going to try to redo it. And yes, you're seeing from a lower angle, but I'm trying to look at my computer while I'm telling y'all this. So I'm just going to scroll all the way up to the very first market. And if I didn't say it before, I've been doing a year of markets, and I'm doing another one in October because Fall Fest was not the best. And I might be working on a lovey for my next market because it's in a retirement home, and some people might be buying for their grandchildren. So yeah. All right. So my very first market, as I've said before, is Fall Fest. And at my very first Fall Fest, I had 2 blanket ladders. I did not take any photos, but I do have a video. It is on my TikTok it is on my TikTok flashing back from it. So I may insert a clip here. Yeah. If I replace the sound, it's because it's of copyright. Okay. So, all right. I had 2 blanket ladders. I displayed my blankets and scarves on that blanket ladder. My husband made it out of pallets, and I brought my one chunky knit blanket that I made for that market, and it never ended up selling. I think I still have it too. I think. Yeah. I may not have it. I can't remember. I still have a lot of blankets that I made for my very first market because I didn't sell any. Clemson inspired blanket. I got a black and red granny square blanket. I got some newborn blankets I still have, which is part of a pink with mixed colored in there. It's like very small. I just want to get it clearanced out of the way. Then I have my mouse inspired baby blanket that I have not sold in a hot minute. But yeah, I'm selling newborn sets, but I am currently focusing on selling the blankets right now. But yeah, that's why I displayed on there with 2 scarves. I made my own infinity scarf and launched that on my website because I finally got pictures, and I think I did really good with modeling that myself. And it was kind of like a brown mix, and then I displayed also a gray one, and I believe it was gray. If not, I'm sorry, I gotta remember that far. Since I don't have any pictures to really rely on. I believe it was a gray. And then I also made a with that red heart retro. A lot of people like that but didn't buy. I think I still have that too. This is not me complaining. This is me just saying what I have left, because a lot of people bought a lot of small stuff there. And then my mom, she bought $50. She was like, here's $50. Give me $50 worth of stuff. I got her my large pumpkins and stuff. And I don't know if she still has it or not, but I have upgraded a lot since then. So yeah. I had a lot of eyes on my chunky knit blanket. That one that I sold, I was selling it for $80, which is very cheap. Very cheap considering the online price, because I have to take an account for special packing that one and the weight of that one, so I don't go in a negative with shipping and all. So yeah, but they just looked at it. They had a good bit of views, but when they see the price, they walked away, which I don't think that was, for my very first market, a smart move, because I think I was too high of the expectation that my price was my price. And yes, my price is my price right now, and I'm not going to have any negative comments on that, especially since I've gotten better and I'm going to start raising my prices a lot more. But I think that I should have not brought the chunky knit blanket at all, because I think since it was my very first market, it was a good try to see if it'll sell, but I think I brought them out too early. And also, I don't think it was the right time to try to sell it. But I know that like in January of this year, I sold some chunky knit blankets of toddler, and I do still sell them. You see some of the colors right there, but that's not my only color. So yeah, it was just not the right market for that. Now, when I do mine in November, I may bring it, because of one reason. I may find a shelf to put them on so they don't get wet, because I believe it's on the farm, not with animals, right? It's just in case it rains. I asked for, if it gets full, if we can be put in the grass area, because I want to be able to put my tent up and have a lot more room for my customers. But yeah, I don't know if we are or not. So if we are, I would really want to bring my blankets, because I believe in late November is when people are also going to be willing to buy blankets. And that area, that whole venue just in general, is owned by a small business owner. And I believe that it would be a very high market, because this is basically small businesses only selling. So people already come with the expectation of, this is a small business, this is handmade. And yes, I will be also focusing on making another Emily, other than the one I already have in the Sweet Snuggles, because I believe that's more of a nursery color. And a lot of people during November buy it for nurseries, which is good. All right. And then I also had something different. Let's just go back forward to the very first market, because it's already 7 minutes and I'm only at my first market. Okay, so I had something different than my current keychain spinner for keychains. However, I do not have a picture of what it looks like. I didn't take pictures during that, but I do know afterwards I wanted something to actually have it spin, and so people can look at all of the keychains. So I know I went to Hobby Lobby for mine. So if you are ever interested in where I got mine, Hobby Lobby. On to my second market. I've done my very first 2 markets at the market at the mill in Pickens, and I only brought 1 blanket ladder that time, and I did not display my chunky knit blankets. I used the gray cubes up here that I just hold my yarn for displaying plushies, and I believe that got a more crowded look to the plushies. I did put like a layer of snow underneath the snowman, but I don't really think it brought up to eye. Which is, and I also could not see if plushies fell, because I know a bunch of things fell and customers had to pick it up. So I don't really think that that was a good thing to really experience. But it happened, but I have not brought it since because I don't like the look of it. And also I've upgraded my yarn wall to bigger and more. As you can see, I have an entire wall of yarn. But I just don't think it's the best. So because I can't see if any plushies fell, people stole anything, and all that. So never brought it after that. My $5 bin, I have my white one that has a little opening so people can easily grab. I got it at Walmart, but when I did my second market, I did a see-through bin that I got from Five and Below. If I have a picture of it, I'll put it in here. If I have any pictures relating to my market setup, I will put it up here. I have a lot for my second market, which is my very first market video, market vlog. So I know I didn't like film Fall Fest, but I didn't really know if I wanted to start YouTube and all that up until I already had a YouTube video with budgeting. I just didn't know if I wanted to turn it to crochet till after my very first market, because I seen a lot of interest in it. All right. I brought my husband's soap and displayed it on a cake stand. I bought it, and then afterwards, after a few times, I gave that cake stand to my grandmother-in-law because she bakes a lot of cakes, so I thought she could use it. I upgraded to sign holders for signs and prices and displayed it and put it nearby where everything that it had the price on, and people gave me compliments about the design of it, and it was consistent branding. I have changed a lot, but I don't really think it's not consistent. I don't really think it's, I think, okay, I'm stumbling on my words here. I think it's still consistent branding, even though I switched it up a little bit, because it's still the colors of my brand, which is light pink, light blue, light purple, sometimes light green, white. And when I do markets, I mostly do light pink, light wood, except for I did a little bit of a difference with the riser and the small crate, but it's okay. But I try to stick more to lighter wood and pink and white displays. But back then, I only had 2 crates, and it was what it was. I do know that I did an L shape with my tables, and at the very front, I did the gray cubes, and yeah. I do know that I brought in sales $78, and a lot of people were buying nursery type items and Christmas gifts. And at that market, I also had for my scrunchies on a spool holder, and people were still buying keychains. And I think the spool holder was a lot better for scrunchies, even though I don't really like that idea right now. However, they have not sold since. And they sold more on the spool holder than they've done on my mug tree or in a bin. So that was the market for scrunchies. And also, if I ever bring Christmas ornaments to the November market, I will not put them on my keychain rack, because I think they're misplacing it as a keychain rather than a ornament. So I think I just think it's a whole mishap of not understanding. All right, my third market was at the Market Mill still, and I'm so mad at that market. Oh my gosh. Where do I even start? I did not take my husband's words of advice into account. And yes, my husband warned me about this market because it was supposed to be downpouring. Did not ever experience a rainy market like that before. And that was a $10 market. And people was downpouring and people, a slow amount of traffic. And if people did come up, they said they were looking and they say they'll come back. They never did. That was my first market with pickles and not a single one sold. I used my pink shelf for the first time, and I believe that I had a L-shaped table set up because I did not take pictures of that market because I was so frustrated and I was just wanting sales. I mean, normally those markets are 8 to 4 at the Market of Mill, so we had set up really early and it was a long day. I can't remember what time we left, but we left and it was downpouring when we left. So the only market I will do with rain or heavy downfall visit was a rain or shine event. But yeah, luckily we set up before it was an indoor market, so everything was already in totes. But I just think that I was just so frustrated at that market. I think it was very, very, very low organized. And they had us at this new area where they set up market event vendors, and I don't think that it's ever a good spot for vendors at a market. I believe the third warehouse where we normally are at Fall Fest and the Christmas at the market is the best place to be. And then, so we move on to Greenville State Farmers Market, which March was my very first event with Greenville State Farmers Market because I got accepted in January, and then they had they had an actual market in March, and I believe that's when the most traffic hit at Greenville State Farmers Market for me. And I did an L shape with a pink shelf. If I have a picture, I'll put it up here. Pickles and axolotls were flying off the table. I remember I had my husband go back up to the apartment to grab purples because this girl wanted a purple axolotl, and I made it. And the mother came back to get the axolotl and then ended up buying something else. So I think that contributed to my sales. I ended up making $102.48, not counting the booth fee, which is always $10. So, except for the festivals, which we were supposed to have one in fall, but got canceled. I didn't sign up for it because it was $150, and I don't think that, personally for my business, that it was worth it, because the reason why is because I've never made $150 at Greenville State Farmers Market. So if I spent $150 just on the table that does not include food, or because it's like a 2-day event, it was from Friday and Saturday, I just didn't think it would be worth it for me, and it ended up getting canceled. So I remember I learned in March that a lot of people like the pickles and axolotls, but I have to keep bringing new colors in. So, because a lot of color selection at the Greenville State Farmers Market is a good market. And it was just a good market overall. In April, I did my first junking and jamming. It was an amazing event. I believe it was coordinated very well. The lines were long, and we had a backwards U setup with tables. People looked at my clearance bin, which I had a little basket weave-in basket with my clearance items, and I sold my prototype of my autism awareness turtle. And I think that was one of the main ones that sold at that market from the clearance bin. And then I sold my only sunflower turtle because I walked away, and then my husband sold it while I was gone. I believe it was $40, and people love, and that was the only one I sold, and I have a little tiny one and it has not sold yet, so I don't know. But pickles were displayed in a little floral basket and people love them. I highly think that people like the basket a lot more, but I am waiting for, I have a lot of baskets. I have a white basket in my closet, and I may use that one because it's not springtime. So I don't really want to use the spring basket for it, to see if it makes a difference with a seafood container or a basket, you know. I'll have to figure that out. But a lot of people were liking the baskets. And at the first Junking and Jamming, I did still my record high, best ever market, profit wise, is $167, and it's free to set up there. I always recommend any new small business or anyone who is looking for a low cost market to go to Junking and Jamming at Market the Mill and Pickens, because it is amazing. I mean, yeah, you first thought that there's no way small businesses should be at a Junking and Jamming, because yes, people do go and sell stuff from their garage. However, it actually does help because there's actually a few amount of small business that take advantage of it, and a lot of people like buying from actual businesses. So while they're already like going around and shopping for just random items, they may see your booth and they may see, oh, this is an actual small business, this is handmade, and they don't see that as junk. They really don't. So I don't think it has any negative effect on my business. It actually helps a lot. All right, and then in April I did my second event with Greenville State Farmers Market. I only sold a chicken coaster and I believe a dishcloth set. I had an L shape, and I remember having my pink shelf because it became a staple, and I was a little bit frustrated because I mean, I made back my booth fee, so I only made like $11, but because the booth fee is $10, chicken coaster I believe was like 10-ish, I believe, and then I had a dishcloth set. Yeah. But that is my lowest Greenville State Farmers Market that I've ever had. So coming into next year, I will not have a Greenville State Farmers Market in April. I just don't think it's worth it. June, I did another Greenville State Farmers Market, but they put us in the middle row setup, and I utilized that to my advantage because I did a U shape. I had my pink shelf on one side, and I did an L shape with the tables, and I really think people liked it. The shelf brought height to it, and it was my first market with the cart, and people loved it. I still had my sleeping kitty from a pattern test with Darby's Crochet Corner. I love that pattern. I may make that again with my next market coming up, but have a Halloween mix onto it. Like have, I don't know what type of pajamas I want to do, but I think it'd be so cute to just, I may do an orange so I can use the black felt that I already have to make a pumpkin face on it. I think that'd be so cute. All right, but yeah, I remember that kids would love that sleeping kitty, but never sold. People had an all-around look of my stuff. That was my first time selling sharks and whales, and I had my plastic riser. It was like a 3-tiered riser. And I think it helped a little bit, but sharks and whales are really good for my area. And I sold my one and only ice cream keychain that I've ever made, so that was good. I know that in June, ice cream, I will do other colors. I believe that was a pink multi, and I do have a lot more to go. I have blue ombre, which I can do as a blueberry sorbet. I can do the white confetti from Red Hearts to do a birthday cake theme. I have a lot of ideas, so just play with me. But that was in June, and we knew we were going to on vacation since May, so I was trying to get as much money as I can for our vacation in August. And that was the same in July. In July, I did 2 markets because I was ramping up, and because it was a lot less time to prepare financially for a vacation. It was our 1-year marriage anniversary trip, and y'all seen the vlog up there. If you want to see it, I will link it in the corner, and I will try to link photos of setups as I go, as a reminder to myself when I edit this video. But in July, I did 2. I did the $10 event at Pickens at the Market Mill, and that's the last 10 event that I will ever attend there. I sold 5 items with 4 sales because there was one with a 2-item sale. There was 1 sale with 2 items included in it. Flowers finally sold at the market. I made them since March. No, I think May. April or May, I did it. But I haven't sold them up until then. I did sunflower and 1 daisy, which I was so happy about. I finally sold my crochet hooks. I had them at the June market, but I finally made my first sale and I seen interest. I displayed the bass for the very first time and I put it on top, but I didn't have any sales for Pickens. I had lots of eyes, but no sales. I had a light green one and a dark green one, and a lot of people both like it, but then I had to always fix it because people were like flipping it upside down. Pros to my husband for helping me out with fixing them. All right, I need to hurry this a little bit up because I need to work on my lovey. I finished the body. I need to go onto the legs and arms and spikes. So, all right. And this is turning into a 25-minute clip itself. All right. In August, for Greenville State Farmers Market, that's the only one I did in August because that was in late August after we had a loss. We went back from vacation. August was a busy month for us, and we lost my father-in-law, and that was my first market without him. It felt wrong, but it had to be made. I made 7 sales. I finally got 2 more crates to display on my tables. And normally what I do is I put them side by side and turn them so they're inward, so they face inward. And my cart was near where the keychains were displayed, and I don't really think that helped a lot. I displayed my husband's soaps because you can display any crafts that your immediate family members has made. So I put it on the spice rack, and I did an L shape with the tables. And I made that one. I made from that one, let me see, $74.50. All right, now to the more recent markets, which I've done junking and jamming 2 times in September. I did both times a reversed U. I believe only 1 day with the pink shelf. I did 4 crates, and I normally face them inward like always. And I had a hail bale to display my pumpkins, and the cart with prices on everything except the dino was on the cart. A lot of people liked the loaf cats, but didn't sell the first day, but it sold the second day, which is the rain date of junking and jamming. And I made a total of $153.80. And like I said before, in April, junking and jamming does not have any table fee. All right, now to the very last one, which is Fall Fest in October, but I am doing one in later October, less than 2 weeks, because yesterday made 2 weeks, but it's okay. I did 2 tables with an open middle. I had a pink shelf separating my husband and I because I just wanted to, I had a lot of stuff, but I was displaying mostly my turtles in the back, and I believe that did not help with the sunflower turtle. I believe it could have sold if I had it up front, which I know now. I had the cart near the axolotls and pickles, which helped a lot. Because a lot of people were coming where the cart was, and I only sold like, I believe, one axolotl at Fall Fest. I had a 4 crate set up with, I had them the same way of facing outwards, but I had one small crate that was right next to my riser, and I mixed matched between the bunny and the ghost with the hat, because when I finished my Oogie Boogie, we replaced the ghost with the hat with Oogie Boogie inspired plush and door stopper. And I had hail bale for pumpkins on top of my crates. I did riser for ghosts, which people loved. I sold one out of my mini ghost. I ended up replacing the one that I sold for stock wise, so I only have 2 mini ghosts, which I still got to get onto. And crochet hooks were near the keychain rack and got a lot of attention. I believe I had 3 sales with crochet hooks, but that's a lot for one day, because that's the most that I've sold in one day for in person. All right, so for Fall Fest, I made a total profit of $48, but that does not count because that $48 will go straight to my November setup, which is fine because it's only $2 short from the booth fee. I'm waiting on the booth fee to be available to where I can find the payment link. I'm just so excited for that first 2-day market, but yeah. All right, that is the end of my booth set up. This upgrades. I have a lot more coming in. If y'all don't know, I did a little guessing game to see what is coming, but I will do an unboxing, a special unboxing, because y'all want more behind the scenes. Really, after this, I will do an announcement video with the unboxing, so we can get to rolling on what I have been telling myself that I wanted to do in October. And Marcus without my father-in-law has been rough, but I'll manage, but gets a lot better. Thank you for joining into this video. Please, if you watch it all the way through, please put an elephant in the comments. I love enjoying replying to your comments and meeting new people. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to follow for more crochet content and behind the scenes of an Etsy small business owner. And I will see y'all guys next time with a special announcement and an unboxing.